questions with answers to test your common sense. This video is not intended to judge anyone or to make anyone feel bad. This video is for self-reflection purposes only. If you do choose to follow along, write down a number 1 or a tally to each question that you get right. At the end of the video, you're going to add up your numbers or tally marks. If you get between 1 and 11 points, it is recommended to sharpen up your common sense skills just a little bit. Okay? If you get between 11 and 22, adaptation and pattern recognition skills may come natural to you. If you get 22 to 33, you are a common sense genius. Anyway, let's get started. Question number 1. How many months in a year have 28 days? How many months in a year have 28 days? If you answered all of them, you are correct. Every single month has 28 days. Number 2. Which is heavier, 100 pounds of steel or 100 pounds of feathers? Which one do you think is heavier, 100 pounds of steel or 100 pounds of feathers? If you answered they weigh the same, you're correct. They're both 100 pounds. There's no difference. Only difference is one is steel and one is feathers. Number 3. You throw a ball 5 feet away and it comes right back to you. Which direction did you throw the ball? You throw a ball 5 feet away from you. Which direction did you throw the ball? If you guessed up, you are correct because the ball must come down, right? How can a person go 10 days without sleep? How can a person go 10 days without sleep? Because they sleep at night, right? Sleep at night. If a plane crashes on the border of the US and Canada, where would they bury the survivors? Where would they bury the survivors? If you guessed nowhere, you are correct because you don't bury survivors. You don't bury survivors unless you are a criminal. If you're outside playing basketball and the ball rolls out to the middle of the road, do you A, go get the ball, B, leave the ball and get another one, or C, do you look both ways before running into the middle of the road and then retrieve the ball? Do you look both ways before running into the middle of the road to retrieve console them. B, console them. Or C, talk about what you made for dinner. Talk about what you made for dinner. What do you do if your friend is crying to you? Do you tell them that they're pretty, console them, or talk about what you made for dinner? If you chose B, you are correct. What has cities but no houses? Mountains but no trees? Water but no fish? What has cities but no houses? Mountains but no trees? And water but no fish? You said a map. You are correct. What do you do if you feel pain that you've never felt before? What do you do if you feel pain that you've never felt before? What do you do? If you said go to a doctor, you are correct. If you go to a lake and the lake has a sign that says do not swim, the water is not safe, do you dip your feet in the water to see how it feels? B, go for a swim. Or C, don't touch the water at all. Which one do you do? A, B, or C? If you picked C, you are correct. There was no context behind why the water isn't safe. So no, you don't touch the water at all whatsoever. What can you hold without ever touching? What can you hold without ever touching? Can you hold without ever touching? Without ever touching? Your breath. Your breath. If there is an emergency and you see people running and screaming hysterically, do you A, stand there and wonder what's happening? B, start running with the people? Or C, go towards the danger where people are running from? What do you do? What do you do? A, B, C. If you picked B, you are correct. What is the chemical symbol for air? What is the chemical symbol for air? It's the chemical symbol for air. There is none. Air is a mixture of gases. It's a mixture of gases. What is the chemical symbol for water? What is the chemical symbol for water? What is the chemical symbol for water? If you said H2O, you are correct. If you are driving to an appointment, but there is so much traffic that you're just gonna end up late, do you A, call the place of the appointment to let them know? B, wait until you're not driving and then call the place of the appointment to let them know? Or C, just keep driving until you reach your destination safely and figure it out with the receptionist when you get there? B or C? Technically, B and C are correct. A is not correct because you are driving. So why would you pick up your phone, dial a number while you are driving. Your eyes should be on the road. Okay, so verse 17. What would you do if you saw a fire starting in your home? Would you A, open the windows, B, try to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher, water, or baking soda if you can, and call 911, or C, gather all of your belongings and leave the house? What'd you do? What did you do? What'd you do? What'd you do? A, B, or C? A, C. If you guessed B, you are correct. You don't ever want to open the windows because oxygen, when it meets fire, it feeds the fire and it's gonna make it bigger. Anyway, if you spill water on the floor, what should you do? What should you do? Leave it? Clean it up? What would you do? What should you do? What should you do? If you said clean it up, you are correct. If you are in a new city and you get lost, what would you do? A, pull out Apple Maps on your phone and order an Uber. B, spin in a circle and scream. Or C, ask someone for directions. What would you do? If you were in a new city and you got lost, what would you do? What would you do? Technically A and C are correct. So if you guessed A or C, you are correct. What three colors cannot be made by mixing other colors? Three colors cannot be made by mixing other colors. Three colors. The primary colors: blue, red, and yellow. Blue, red, and yellow. You cannot do anything to make those colors. Not that I know of, at least. Maybe, well, no, but anyway. I was gonna say white and brown, but nah, that'd be like a pale brown. Okay, what is the biggest state in the US? What is the biggest state in the US? If you guessed Alaska, you are correct. Alaska. How many ounces are in a cup? How many ounces are in one cup? If you guessed 8 ounces, you are correct. You are right. What is the process of water turning into vapor called? The process of water turning into vapor called. Vapor is in the answer. Evaporation. Evaporation. What was the tallest mountain in the world before Mount Everest was discovered? What was the tallest mountain in the world before Mount Everest was even discovered? What do you think? If you guessed Mount Everest, you are correct. Even before it was discovered, it was still the tallest mountain. How many continents are there? 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 You are correct. Correct, correct, correct. If you were born 10 years ago, how old would you be right now? If you were born 10 years ago, how old would you be right now? 10 years ago, how old would you be? If you guessed 10, you are correct. Correct, correct, correct. What are the 3 branches of government? What are the 3 branches of government? Branches of government, 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 government. Branches of government. Think. If you said legislative, executive, and judicial, you, my friend, are correct. If someone is telling you about a bad or vulnerable experience that they had, do you say, A, off topic, but I like your hair? Do you say B, or do you give them your undivided attention and listen to them? Or C, do you show them a funny TikTok video? If someone comes up to you and tells you about a bad or vulnerable experience, do you say A, off topic, but I like your hair? Do you B, give them your undivided attention and listen to them? Or C, show them a funny TikTok video? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You said B. You are correct. If you are reading a book and you come across a word that you do not know, do you A, look the word up, B, ignore and keep reading, or C, get mad and throw the book? What do you do? The book, what do you do? If you said A, you are correct. Correct. You look it up. Okay. What vegetable does a pickle come from? A pickle. What vegetable does a pickle come from? Peter Piper picked a pepper. Peter Piper picked a pepper. I don't know the rest. If you said a cucumber, you are correct. You are correct. What gives plants their color? What gives plants their color? If you said chlorophyll, you are correct. Chlorophyll. Okay, we are on the last question, 33. Last question, 33. If you encounter someone that does not speak the same language as you, do you A, get mad and yell at them, or B, pull out your phone and open Google Translate? What do you do? A or B? A or B? If you chose B, you are correct. You are correct. Okay, yeah. That was 33 questions.